Should have stayed longer. Honestly, 20 hours was enough jail for me, and I don't think anyone in jail wants me back.
Finally, some good news, as one of the most toxic people on the internet may now end up behind bars. We're going to break down the arrest of a toxic internet streamer and so much more on today's episode of the Barad vs. Everyone podcast, my daily show where we take on the craziest news from across the internet and social media, all from an independent political perspective. And heads up, guys, I will be traveling. I'm going on a trip to Cancun with some friends for a few days, so I'll be missing a few days of the show coming up here, but we should be back at it next week. Anyway, we got to talk about Jack Doherty, who, if you've never heard of Jack Doherty, God bless you. Honestly, I wish that I had never heard of him either, because he's one of those internet people who is famous for no discernible reason. As far as I can tell, he has no positive attributes of any kind, no particular talent or charisma. He is not some beauty or stunning good looks, yet he has these millions of subscribers he's accrued across platforms just by doing viral pranks and stunts. There's also a pretty serious dark side to his personal life. He's been accused of abuse by his ex-girlfriend. And of course, I mean, those are just accusations, but we've also seen him on camera crash his car while texting and driving, and then film himself and be more concerned about the damage to his vehicle than the fact that his friend that was with him is literally bleeding from the face. Yeah, I mean, it's just sick stuff. He's kind of a microcosm of everything that goes wrong with rage bait and modern influencer culture and the like. But now he finally may be forced to take some accountability after his latest stunt that he pulled right here in Miami, which wasn't smart because Florida does not play. Florida does not F around, okay? But he's been arrested, and these are serious charges. Well, let's take a look at some local news reporting from WPLG Local 10 about his recent arrest here in Miami.
Tonight, a Miami Beach commissioner took to social media to call out a social media influencer.
Commissioner Joseph Magazine not happy with how the 22-year-old professional prankster treated Miami Beach police. Everywhere Jack Doherty goes, cameras are sure to follow.
You want to go with him? Go to the sidewalk now. Okay. No, now.
But shortly after 3 a.m. Saturday morning, Miami Beach police say Doherty and his followers went too far. The department saying he deliberately positioned himself in the middle of Washington Avenue, in the heart of the entertainment district, and then repeatedly refused to follow officers' commands. After cuffing him, you can see in this police body cam video how an officer searched him. After discovering a wad of cash, they found a single pill. Miami Beach PD says it is consistent with a Schedule II amphetamine. They also found 3 hand-rolled suspected cannabis cigarettes. Now he faces drug and resisting arrest charges. All of this prompting an immediate response from Commissioner Joseph Magazine on Instagram. He called Doherty a little expletive and went on to say, "You will respect our men and women in blue." Again, Doherty has more than 28 million followers across all his social media accounts, mostly because of his prank videos. He posted the $3,500 for the bond, and he walked out of jail tonight at about 3 hours ago.
Gosh, sometimes I love Florida. This is Miami Beach, just like 10 minutes away from where I am right now. And yeah, I could have told him, don't try your little stunts here. And there's so much more to get into. The details here are hilarious, but also like not looking good for him, legally speaking. But I just want to say that I love this because whether it's the climate crazies, the lefties, or whatever, get out of the freaking street. You do not have a right to block traffic. And then to do it, and then the police ask you to move several times, and then you refuse, that's not an option. You're going to get arrested. And it's just diabolical to think that because you're an influencer or you have followers or whatever, the rules don't apply to you. No, sir. You're going to learn the hard way. And then also, you're just really dumb. Like, you're just playing incredibly stupid games and you're going to win stupid prizes and potentially a jail sentence if you know that you have illegal drugs on you, but then still block traffic and refuse to move when police ask you to. And then you know you're going to get arrested. You know they're going to find the drugs and you're going to get in trouble for that. Like, it's just not very smart. Even if you were obnoxious and were a streamer and were trying to get away with stuff, well, you'd think you'd be a little more intelligent about it. Or is the entitlement with this one and others like him so blatant and so out of control that he literally thinks I can have illegal drugs on me and police will search me, whatever, I'll pay a fine? That might actually be it. But it's not going to work out like that for him. I'm telling you now, not in Florida, I do not think. But anyway, the comments on this were hilarious. Top comments on the news reporting I just played you. Keep him in jail. It's about time. This is honestly the best news I've seen all week. And I completely agree. I love seeing accountability brought to these people who think that terrorizing the public is a substitution for a talent or a personality. Their tears are delicious. They deserve everything that's coming to them and more. Guys, now we're going to look at some exclusive statements he made to TMZ that are just chef's kiss. Mwah. However, first, though, do make sure to subscribe, do hit the like button, comment with your thoughts as we go along. Now, let's look at this from TMZ. Exclusive. Jack Doherty locked up with nothing to do. Worst day ever. Then they have this here. Jack Doherty is spilling on his Miami arrest, telling TMZ the whole thing was so mind-numbingly boring, he's actually calling it the worst day of his life. Now, we should just pause on that. Like, you must have had a pretty easy life if this is the worst day of your life, because the reason it was so terrible to him is literally, I think, just because he didn't have his phone and he was bored, sitting there for hours. That's what he's saying is the worst day of his life. Sounds like a pretty good life then, man. I don't know. And it continues here from TMZ. The embattled influencer tells TMZ it was a brutal slog. First stuck in a tiny cell with a cop for 5 hours, then shuffled off for a mugshot and fingerprints before spending another 10 hours in a big holding room where he could finally make some calls. It's reminding me of the Kim Kardashian clip where I think it's Kourtney goes, Kim, people are dying. He's like, I was in a cell for a few hours and they did my fingerprints. It was brutal. Oh my God. It's like, oh no, how will you ever survive? Show me on the doll where the few hours of boredom hurt you. Like, I could not roll my eyes harder at this guy trying to portray himself as horribly victimized by this experience. More from TMZ. The day didn't even end there. The 22-year-old says he got thrown into yet another cell, took a nap, then got jolted awake by guards who he claims were super nice, even telling him TMZ had already posted his mugshot before letting him finally go. Yeah, I mean, he was, of course, bailed out. It was never likely that he was going to sit in jail for very long on charges like this, given the resources that he has. He's obviously a wealthy dude. Now, here's what I was curious about and I wanted to know, because he got arrested for resisting arrest, drugs charges, and other such counts, but then also the charges related to the drugs. I'm like, wait, how serious are these charges? So I looked this up, and according to the entertainment news website Dixerto, here is how Florida law breaks down the penalties for the charges that he has been hit with. Possession of a controlled substance, third-degree felony. That has up to 5 years in prison and up to a $5,000 fine. And that is about the, I believe, methamphetamines that he had on him, or some sort of controlled substance that they mentioned in the news reporting. And that's a very serious charge. That is a felony drug charge. It's not like the other charges. So possession of marijuana under 20 grams, that's a misdemeanor. The most could be up to a year in jail and up to a $1,000 fine, but most people just get probation for that. Even the resisting an officer without violence is a first-degree misdemeanor, so that has up to 1 year in jail and up to 1 year probation. Now, if he were convicted on all of these counts and given the maximum penalties, it looks like he could face up to 7 years in jail, but that's not going to happen. When you're looking at a legal case, just the maximum penalties it doesn't give you a good estimation. I've seen people saying online, oh, he's going to go to jail for 7 years. That's not likely. I think, especially with these 2 misdemeanor charges, he might just get probation and a fine of some kind. But I actually think that possession of a controlled substance, felony drug charge, that is a heavy charge. And he could actually get sentenced to some jail time for that if they crack down. And I think they should. I don't know. I hope that whatever judge he is before sees the context of this guy terrorizing the public for content and just walking around in the world and decides to send a message. I am not somebody who really believes in even policing people for drug possession, but the laws do exist, and influencers and streamers with a lot of money aren't above them and should not get a pass. And I would like to see him sent to do a little bit of serious prison time in a minimum security prison. Probably not the whole 5 years for a first-time nonviolent offender, but yeah, I think he should go to jail. And I think the court system should send a message that you cannot pull this kind of stuff, that influencers are not, in fact, above the law, and that we have had enough of this crap. We have to put our foot down as a society against these people, or their antics and their rage bait and their tactics will just get worse and worse and more extreme as the attention economy evolves and they get more and more desperate for relevancy and attention. It's a serious problem. Really. It really is. Now, of course, Jack is already turning his arrest into content and monetizing it. He put his mugshot on a t-shirt, which I imagine he's selling. I don't know. Here's a couple videos that he posted to his TikTok account with millions of followers after his arrest. Let's look.
I just got out of jail, guys, and I'm about to take my first shower since getting out. Jail is so freaking dirty, and I didn't want to take a shower in there, so I'm just grateful to be back in my crib and able to take a shower in the comfort of my own home. Should have stayed longer. Honestly, 20 hours was enough jail for me, and I don't think anyone in jail wants me back, but hey, I don't know why you guys want me to go back to jail. I think it's more fun when I'm out here and on the internet, right, guys? Yeah.
I know it. I know he's rage baiting us. Like, I know that he's rage baiting me with this, but I can't help it. It works. I'm enraged by him. Like, I don't believe in violence, but nothing makes me feel more violent in urges and impulses than watching these little shits. Like, this is just diabolical. He's like teasing people. He's like, oh, you want me all in jail? It's all a bit to him. And it's going to remain a bit until that judge, hopefully, sentences him to a year in prison. That will set him straight. Really, that will be a wake-up call for this young man. And then it won't be funny. Then it won't be content. Then it won't be the latest merch line. I think that's what needs to happen here. And I'll just say that I also do view the platforms as having some obligations here. So whether it's TikTok or it's YouTube, it's Kick or whatever the streaming services are, they really should not allow these creators to monetize content that is endangering the public, like blocking traffic or violating laws. And frankly, they should ban people who are streaming or posting content of themselves breaking the law. That's like not free speech. It's not, oh, he says edgy things. He's like streaming himself breaking the law or doing various things that are posting on different platforms that are illegal about him doing. And I don't know. I guess some people think that's cool. They think he's somehow a role model because he has expensive cars or something. And you should not be allowing people to profit from and disseminate to the masses illegal or like irresponsible and very dangerous activity as well. That's not a free speech issue. That's a standards issue. And it's like just a basic, honestly, regulatory compliance. I'm surprised they even are legally allowed to let some of this stuff up on their platforms. But regardless, I think they need to do a better job in algorithmically tamping down on rage bait content. And you can do that without totally censoring people or violating people's ability just to express their opinions, because there's a pretty clear line that can be drawn around some of this stuff. That's my take on it all. But I will just say once again that I hope he goes to jail. And if he does, his tears will be absolutely delicious, at least to me. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed, hit the like button, and all of that.